Imagine working a job for 55 years, then quitting, and then starting a new one. Do you think that that would be hard? Why? Why would it be hard? Because you're learning a whole new skill set. You did the other job for 55 years. You could probably do that job in your sleep without even thinking about it, just like brushing your teeth. We don't have to think about brushing our teeth. But when you start the new job, you've never done it before. So everything is new. You have to think about all of it. Everything becomes arduous. It's hard because you have to think about everything. You have to come up with a plan. You have to figure out how to do everything. And so you're learning a new skill. Your brain is learning. And menopause is exactly like that. Our body has been like this for 55 years, and then all of a sudden it changes. And now we have to just figure out this new body. That's all it is. It's like we're starting a new job. And the reason we get frustrated and the reason we find it hard is because we were just used to this other thing for 55 years. That's a long time. And I'm saying 55 because that's the age I am right now. But remember, menopause takes like 7 to 10 years. But the point is, your body has been like this certain way for a very long time. And then all of a sudden it changes. And we freak out only because we just aren't sure what's going on. That's the only issue. Menopause isn't something that we want to fight or beat because it's a natural occurrence. So we want to go with the flow. We want to learn how to support it. When we think about our bodies being nature, I say this all the time, we always look. Anytime I want to solve a problem, I'm like, what would nature do? And it's the same with menopause. What would nature do? And the beautiful thing is that we are actually nature. Nature is doing its thing. All we have to do is find the best way to support our bodies through it, because our bodies know exactly what to do. Remember puberty. It's the exact same thing. We were a child, and then we went through puberty, which meant our hormones changed, and then our physical body changed. And the same thing with pregnancy. Our hormones changed, our physical body changed. Then after, again, our hormones changed because we were breastfeeding and we didn't have a human body inside of us anymore. So our hormones change, and then our body is just trying to balance itself out. So we have a pattern here. The pattern is our body is changing, so the hormones change. And then our body adapts to the new hormones. The hormones are just trying to get our body into homeostasis, meaning neutral, balanced out, like everything is working the way it should. And that's the same for menopause. We want to help our body get back into homeostasis so that these crazy side effects stop happening. And everybody experiences them differently depending on, your genetic makeup, your lifestyle, your experiences, the stress levels, your diet, all of it contribute to what kind of experience you're going to have in menopause. But you want to remember how to trust your body. That's the key. How to support your body, because it's doing what it naturally knows how to do. So what's the number one thing that we can do to support our body through menopause? Is give it everything it needs to work its magic. Give it everything it needs to balance itself out. How do we do this? Like the number one thing is through our food. And I really honestly believe that food is medicine. I honestly believe that. But today's foods is not food. It's something that's been processed in a lab somewhere by scientists who are trying to figure out how to get us to eat more of it. They're not studying how this can make our body healthy. They're studying how can we sell more of our food, our processed foods. So today's foods are toxic and they throw our hormonal system off. There's hormones and antibiotics in the meat and the milk, all of our foods. As a matter of fact, 60 to 70% of antibiotics in the US go to livestock. That's crazy when you think about it. So all of those animals that people eventually eat are pumped full of antibiotics. And we know what antibiotics do in our body. We want to avoid antibiotics at all costs because they kill all of the good bacteria. They kill all the bacteria, and it throws our system off. There's also hormones and chemicals in our water system. And that this is what's throwing our body's natural system off. And we think, okay, well, I need to drink water, which is true. We need to be hydrated. It's so true. But what kind of water are we drinking? I have a system at my house where it filters everything out. And it's just such a good system because if I only had to live on water, my body could. It tells you how important it is. So I want it to be the cleanest version possible so that the main source of fuel is going to be a clean fuel. So we want to look at our environment, and not only is it the food we're eating or the water we're drinking, it's the thoughts we're thinking, because our thoughts can be toxic and our thoughts can also be healing. So with all of this in mind, we need to get our bodies into homeostasis. And how do we do this? The number one way, I believe, is through our food, like the easiest thing that everybody can do. You don't need to pay someone to do it. You don't need to go see a doctor. It's not expensive to do because you have to do it anyway. We have to eat every single day. So if you're thinking that every single food that you put in your body, every bite you have either heals you or it harms you. If you think about it this way, then you're going to want to be like, okay, I know this is going to harm me. Why am I feeling like I want to eat this right now? Or something's going on. I need this food to heal my body. Put my body in homeostasis and it will heal itself. So why is it that if we know that whole clean foods will help to heal our bodies and allow us to gracefully slide into menopause, why don't we do that? Why is there so much obesity and illness in the world? Well, I think it's because there's only two reasons why people seem to change. One is a tragedy. Like you go and you have a health scare. You have a near-death experience. You have somebody close to you that passes away, or has some kind of horrible illness that kind of scares you into it, freaks you out. And you're like, that's it. I got to change my life because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to die now. I want to live a healthy life. So it's usually like a tragedy or inspiration. And I am hoping to inspire you into action. I don't want to be the one you come to when you feel like there's no other option, like as a last resort. I want to be the one you come to when you're like, I can change my life. I'm responsible for my health. I know that the food I eat either heals me or makes me sick. And I want to have every bite full of nutritious foods that's healing my body. That's what I'm looking for. And it's so, when you look at it like that, there's tragedy or inspiration. And most of us wait for a tragedy because it just seems hard. It seems overwhelming. We don't know where to start. And also, we're just sticking with our day by day. Like we're not changing anything. We're just staying the same, which is easy for us. Change is hard. So if I told you all you have to do is eat whole, clean food, and then you too will gracefully slide into menopause, why don't people do it? Because change is so hard. Even if you're doing something that's harmful to you, it's known and it's our comfort zone, and our brain is designed to keep us safe. So our brain is designed to seek pleasure and avoid pain and conserve energy. So if I'm like, hey, I want you to do this, and it's something you've never done before, your brain freaks out and goes, that's change, that's different, sounds hard, sounds like you're going to use a lot of energy, you could die. And then it talks you into not doing it. It's easier to not do it, right? But change is hard. When you think about it though, all you have to do is not do something, not eat toxic processed foods. So there's a bigger thing going on because it's easy to not do something. I'm just saying, hey, don't eat the junk food. Don't eat the toxic processed foods. Only eat the whole clean foods every day. But if you've never eaten whole clean foods every day, that can be overwhelming. Because it's something different and your brain freaks out. And we can't be consistent. That's the key. It's so hard to be consistent. But our cells are fueled by what we eat, or our cells are fighting the food we eat. Either one. When we eat a food, it's like it gets broken down and nourishes our cells so our cells can be like, hey, let's go, let's do our job. Or we eat a food that's unhealthy and our cells now have to fight off this toxin. Like a lot of the chemicals, most of the chemicals that are in our food is unrecognizable to the human body. It's like a foreign substance. So if we're eating a food that's laden with chemicals, our body will see it as a toxin and a poison and try to get rid of it, as opposed to breaking it down and using it to nourish our body. So this is why it seems so hard to do it. But there's a thing that you can do that will make it easier. The difference is consistency. The key is discipline. What would it take for you to show up for yourself every single day because it's the right thing to do? Like, that's the only reason. It's just the right thing to do. This will get me where I want to go. So I want to show up every single day for myself. Consistency. The difference between professional athletes and ourselves is the consistency, the discipline. They show up every single day, even when they don't want to. They show up every day when they're injured. They show up every day when it's hard. Every day when they can't. They don't have excuses. They show up. They do the work. And no matter who you are, if you have your eye on a prize, if you do the work to get there every single day, do the work, you'll get there guaranteed. It's not an if, it's just a when. And the when depends on how much you do when you're showing up for yourself. Every single day, okay, then you can do more and you'll get there quicker. Isn't that amazing when you think about it? So the number one rule for discipline is, and I want you to ask yourself, is like, what can you do on your worst day? So the overall problem isn't that you don't know what to do. It's that you can't comply. You can't do it consistently. That's all it is. When you think about a glass of water, and say I ask you to take a teaspoon out every day, and you take a teaspoon out, and then you don't notice that you took a teaspoon out. And then the next day you take a teaspoon out, and you don't notice. It doesn't look like it's getting lower, the water. But if you do that for 30 days straight, you're going to see all of a sudden you've got something going on here. You can see results. And a lot of people aren't consistent because they do it once or twice and then they don't see the result. But what they're not realizing is that they're accumulative. You got to keep doing it to see those end results. If I take a teaspoon of water out of the jar, of course it's going to go down, but it just doesn't look like it's gone down. I feel like people need to see success or results in order to be encouraged to keep going. That's what I hear quite often. When we talk about weight loss, I ask people to break up with their scale, but they're like, but I want to know that it's working. I want to know that I'm succeeding. So you want to find different ways to know that you're succeeding, so that you can see that, like in my group, I call it non-scale victories. Oh, I have more energy. I have less brain fog. It's easier for me to go up my stairs. My clothes are fitting big on me. These are all non-scale victories. It's not a number on a scale. So you want to have these non-scale victories that keep you going. You just want to keep going every day. What would it take for me to show up every single day? Maybe you need to celebrate a win every single day. Be consistent. Stay the course and you'll get to where you're going and you will see the results. I promise you. So here's a challenge for you. Here is what I want to offer up. Pick a goal, whatever your goal is, and make it a goal that you could do in a month or two. because you want to have short-term success. Like you'll have your overall big goal, like maybe a year down the road, but pick one that you could do in a month or two. Short-term success, so you can see that you're succeeding. Now, once you have that goal, ask yourself, what would you need to do every day to achieve that goal? And just write it down. What would you need to do every single day to achieve that goal? And then when you look at that, like the biggest thing that would make the biggest result of the list you just made, pick that one. And with this one thing, what could you do on your worst day? Like how much could you do on your worst day? What would that look like on a day where you're not feeling good, or you had a fight with your partner, or your day at work was horrible? Like on your worst day, it's been raining for a month and you haven't seen the sunshine. What could you do on your worst day? And that's your everyday thing. So every day you're going to do that. You're going to commit to doing that. And then on your good days, you'll just do more. You got the minimum and you're like, hey, I feel good today. I'm going to do more. So you're just committing to, on my worst day, I'm going to do this one thing for 2 months straight to get to this goal. And then if I feel good, I'll do more. Okay, no problem. And then you want to check back in with yourself in 2 months and see if you've achieved that goal. Just notice where you are. Notice, can you see the difference in the water in the jar? Has the water level gone down? I guarantee you after 2 months, yes, you will see something. But if you do it once, you won't see that. So it's it's compound results. That's what you're looking for. And being consistent, discipline. You want to be like the Michael Jordan of whatever it is you're doing. He just keeps showing up. No matter what, he keeps showing up. And that's how he got so good at what he does. And you can do this for anything in your life. Anything. And I just happen to apply it to menopause here because we're women in menopause. So if it comes to helping you through menopause, the number one thing would be clean eating and moving your body for 30 minutes a day. So how can I eat clean to help nourish my body so that it can gracefully slide through menopause? What would that look like? What could I do on my worst day? And it could be like 2 pounds of vegetables. It could be green smoothie. I have a green smoothie every day. It's just spinach. It's all spinach. It's like a huge thing of spinach. And then I put in a little bit of frozen mango to sweeten it, just a little bit. And then I put in a tablespoon of chia seeds and I fill it up with water until the top of the spinach and I blend it. And then I chug that back every day because I know that no matter if I do that for my first meal, and I usually start eating around 11 o'clock, and I know that if I do that for my first meal, I'm going to win the day because I've gotten in a ton of nutrients to help nourish my body. So that is a win for me. Can I do that on my worst day? Heck yes, because it's super easy. And I know if I'm consistent with that every single day, I'm going to win over time, over the 2 months. I'm going to see the results. My cells are going to be nourished. And then when my body is all healed, when my body is in homeostasis, it can balance the hormones out. Because when in menopause, it's just our hormones have changed and all we have to do is allow our body to balance it out. Give our body everything it needs to balance out our hormones. So this is possible for you too. Let me know how it goes. Just rinse and repeat it. This will work for anything in your life, not just for your weight or for balancing hormones. You could do this for any goal that you want to achieve. So go do it and then let me know how it goes for you. Because anything is possible with this. You just got to show up and be consistent for you. Show up for yourself every single day. And what can you do on your worst day? Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first and have an amazing day.